So today's topic is on organization of life. What is organization of life? Well, we all need to understand that living organisms are highly organized. The organization of life is the interrelationship of structures from the lowest to the complex structures. The aim of this topic is to familiarize us with the way life is organized in levels from the lowest to the complex structures. The levels of organization of life. There are 4 levels of organization of life. There are the cells, tissues, organs, and systems. The simplest level of organization is the cell. For some organisms, we know it starts with just the cell and ends with the cell. The cell is defined as the simplest and smallest unit of living organisms. It is the first level of organization of life. That means all living organisms must possess it before it can be classified as a living organism. Both plants and animals are composed of cells. Organisms can possess one or many different cells. Organisms that possesses only one single cell are called unicellular organisms, while those that are made of many different cells are called multicellular organisms. Examples of unicellular organisms are the amoeba, the euglena, paramecium, plasmodium, chlamydomonas, and trypanosomes. It is important to note that the cell is composed of organelles such as the cell wall, nucleus, cell membrane, ribosome, and etc. They come together to coordinate the life functions and carrying out life processes like movement, respiration, and reproduction, which are the distinctive features of living organisms from non-living organisms. The tissues, which are the second level. What are tissues to start with? So tissues are group of similar cells in an organism which perform a specific function. It is a level of organization in multicellular organisms. It consists of groups of structural and similar cells that work together to achieve similar objectives in the body. By definition, tissues can only be found in multicellular organisms, as unicellular organisms have only one cell, while multicellular organisms are composed of group of cells. Examples of tissues in higher plants are the mesophyll layers in the leaves, the epidermal cell, the epidermal tissue, the parenchymal tissues in stems, and examples of tissues in higher animals includes muscles, bones, cartilage, and blood. Examples of organisms that only exist in the tissue level of organization of life are the hydra, alga, sponge, and fungi. The organs. The organ is a group of similar tissues in an organism which perform a specific function. Of course, the organs can only be found in multicellular organisms. They are just groups of tissues joined in structural units to achieve a common goal. Your heart, kidney, and lungs are examples of organs. They perform different functions, so their structural makeup are different. Organs are differentiated by their shape, their location, and function. For examples, the heart of pump that supplies blood to the body. The structural makeup will so surely be suited for that specific function, just like another organ in the body, like the lung, is structured for supply of oxygen to the body cells, as well as the removal of carbon dioxide from the cells during respiration. The systems. A system is a group of similar organs which works together to perform a specific function. Examples of systems in plants are the shoot and root system. Examples of systems in animals are digestive systems, reproduction system, respiratory system, the skeletal system, the nervous system, the excretory and circulatory system. The system comprises of groups of organs that cooperate to achieve a common goal. For example, the digestive system comprises of organs such as the mouth, esophagus, the stomach, the intestine, and the anus that cooperates to make sure that digestion of food in the body of living organisms is achieved. That is why it is a system. Complexity of organization in higher organisms. Unicellular organisms lack vital structures like tissues, organs, and systems, like the multicellular organisms. Though they can perform most life processes like feeding, movement, etc., As a result of this lack of these vital structures, tissues, organs, and systems that will ensure better survival for unicellular organisms is lost. As a result of this, higher organisms have advantages in complexity over the unicellular organisms. Though there are still some disadvantages, some of the advantages of complexity in higher organisms includes: 1. Cellular differentiation. As a result of complexity, similar cells are differentiated to tissue to carry out similar functions. This is not possible in unicellular organisms. 2. Specialization and adaptation. Due to complexity, multicellular organisms are more suited to internal structural specialization. This enables them to provide a specific function. It also makes them more adapted to the environment. Number 3, it leads to efficiency. Complexity makes multicellular organisms more effective in carrying out their different and specific life processes. 4. Mutual interdependence. There will always be mutual interdependence between components of cells, which means there will be division of labor between cells. Some of the disadvantages of complexity in higher organisms includes: 1. Individual cells cannot exist on their own. 2. It leads to slower rates of diffusion as the organisms get complex. 3. Slower rates of reproduction and ability to regenerate.